So I think I'm probably going to end up doing these once a week. Mainly because that allows me time to record several of them and to figure out which one I like the most. If I record one and I talk about something that I like, but then end up filling the rest of my time with a whole bunch of crap, I'm not going to post it, but at least I can save that one good thing for the next iteration, and hopefully by the end of the week, if not sooner, I will have a complete 15 to 20 minute video featuring stuff that I feel, is good one-sided conversations. So this past weekend was Easter, which threw a whole wrench in works. We've got birthdays, a whole bunch of birthdays around this time. So Saturday we had to go do my mother-in-law's birthday at their house, but I ended up feeling like absolute crap, and therefore I went home early. I only live a few minutes down the road from them, so I went to bed. Saturday was kind of a total wash. Sunday, of course, being Easter Sunday, we were under the mistaken belief that we had plans for Sunday, which turned out to be not true, and that meant we had to scramble at the last minute for something to do for Easter. So we managed to get a late reservation at a restaurant. That left the rest of the day open. And so we went down to the Boston Anime Convention. My daughter is really into anime. So we thought that this would be really cool for her, and so it's at the Heinz Convention Center, which is conveniently located at a T-stop. So we parked in Cambridge, which is the closest T station to New Hampshire, and basically just one transfer and we were there. It's the Heinz Convention was where the first PAX East was, so I was somewhat familiar with the building once I got there and remembered it. So the anime convention here in Boston was really kind of it was interesting, let's put it that way. My daughter, her primary interest, I think, was to see the cosplayers. And there was an exponential number of cosplayers compared to PAX. I mean, PAX has them, but nowhere near the number that this place did. I swear to God, maybe one out of every 10 people was in costume of some sort. But the thing about anime is that it's so broad and so deep that unless you are an absolute die-hard fan with nothing else going on in your life, the chance that you'll recognize every single character you see is probably very slim. At least that's my perception. Of course, I'm sure that may be grossly overestimating the amount of time necessary to watch all of this anime and everything. But anyhow, the point is that really the only people that I recognized were ones that either I've watched or that my daughter has told me about. So that was really a very small segment, although Attack on Titan was overly represented. It seemed to be the single most popular cosplay. We had enough people wearing the scout uniform to form an entire regiment of our own there at the event. The booths themselves that they had, interesting. I guess the biggest draw for my daughter was that she could find some of the books she was interested in that she hadn't been able to find at a regular run-of-the-mill bookstore. So she bought an entire series of books there, which she was totally excited about, and that was pretty much it. A lot of the merchandise that they had was books, movies, DVDs. Then they had a lot of wigs and a lot of booths dedicated to cosplay, which I thought was actually pretty cool. It was a pretty good idea. They had companies which actually had full-blown, off-the-rack cosplay outfits. And, you know, when you talk about, like, video games or comic cosplay, you're talking about a lot of weird stuff, I think. You end up with a lot of spandex and a lot of questionable stuff. And don't get me wrong, anime's got more than its fair share of that kind of thing. But a lot of people actually ended up dressing up in really sensible outfits. Really sensible outfits, which I was very impressed with. So, you know, I'm glad that my daughter she's interested in doing cosplay, and I'm glad that she is into anime as opposed to comic books or you know, video game cosplay, because I think she could pick some, you know, decent, you know, characters to create her costumes for. So that was good. But I thought it was cool that you could buy wigs, props, clothing, all kinds of stuff. And basically, if you didn't have a cosplay outfit, you know, brought with you, you could have built one there, you know, based entirely on what they provided. They also, let's see, what else did they have? They had a lot of jewelry. They had a lot of figurines. And then on the extreme fringes, they actually had a booth that was selling LGBT themed stuff. They also had, of course, there was one place that was selling those freaking, those freaking body pillows. So yeah, a little bit of everything. But thankfully, there was really nothing on the floor that was you know, 18 or over. They did have one place that was selling posters and banners, but they had covered up the sensitive areas with Post-it notes. So thank you very much, you know, merchants who did that. There weren't a lot of kids there, though. There were some, but not a lot. So that was interesting. I think we've pretty much seen everything we needed to see. I don't think it'll be a yearly thing. It was my daughter's first convention. It was my wife's first convention. So, you know, they've done it now. It was a little more haphazard than PAX was. I think PAX has gotten down to a science, but Boston Anime Convention was kind of, their security was kind of not really nice. We went in to see the cosplay chess, which was kind of cool. They set them up on a stage, and all of the cosplayers are the pieces, and they have two people down in the pit who are actually playing the game and telling them to move. And when one piece has to take another, they battle it out in, you know, according to their characters. So there was a Samus actually there. And she had a little stuffed Metroid that she kept throwing at people, which is kind of cool. But yeah, we walked into there, and as soon as we came through the door, the security guy yelled at us to find a seat, and I'm like, dude, we just got through the fucking door. All right, just chill your ass out. You know, the fact that he looked like Patton Oswalt kind of made it a little funny, but also kind of sad. So I don't think we'll be going back to that, at least in, you know, no time soon. Kind of cool to see once, but beyond that, I'm still kind of sort of in my gaming slump. I haven't really been playing much of anything. I downloaded the Hex Shards of Fate. Is that it? The card game. I've done the tutorial and I played one of the intro games. You can play some intro games after you play the tutorial to get some extra cards for your chosen deck. I, of course, took the Killer Bunny deck because why not, right? The Shinhair or whatever they're called. They're actually pretty fucking brutal, to be honest, and I think that's kind of the point. You know, they're bloodthirsty, militant rabbits, essentially, and there's a lot of abilities which... There's one card called Run to the Litter, which you play, and when it's sent to the graveyard, it spawns 2, 1/1 soldier cards. And if you can get those things out, and especially if you can play cards that buff all your other cards that are in play, you can basically have an instant army. It's in your opponent's best interest not to take out anything that would spawn, those extra soldiers, because if they do, they're looking down the barrel of a loaded weapon basically at that point. So that was pretty good. I played against the computer last night. Didn't really have any difficulty in that first round. So I play around and then I quit. That was kind of that. I haven't gotten back to Pillars of Eternity yet. That's one of those games where I really have to carve out a chunk of dedicated time to sit there and do it, because I can't start it and then just kind of dick around for 15 minutes and then call it a day, because that's just not going to fly. I mean, you need to get more time just to soak up the story. A, to remember where you were, B, to figure out where you need to go, and then C, to progress, and then D, to wind down. So I haven't gotten back to that. I've been playing nope, sorry, I was gonna say Destiny, but no. Defiance again, since I managed to cap that bullet for a Badman quest, which was totally kicking my ass a long time ago. I also I now am at the point where I need to get over to San Francisco, finally. I mean, I beta tested it. I think I freaking alpha tested that game. I was an early adopter, all kinds of shit. I loved the game, loved the TV show. Was really interested in seeing the synergy between the two, but God, I sucked so bad that I never made it much progress. So, I'm very pleased to see now that I'm moving ahead in that. Etrian Mystery Dungeon comes in tomorrow. Yay! I got Amazon release day shipping, so it should hopefully be here tomorrow. I'm not holding my breath though. That'll be good. That'll be the first DS game I've gotten in since Christmas, when I got A Link Between Worlds, which I kind of also abandoned, as is my MO. I like the Etrian series, though. I like the the way you have to map your own dungeon. Although Mystery Dungeon is a different breed of game from the looks of it. I really don't know jack squat about it. I just know that I like the Etrian games. I don't own any of them. I played the hell out of the demos, but I really do like the Etrian games. Also, speaking of handhelds and portables, I claimed my $25 credit for being an early adopter of the Vita. This was a class action suit against Sony because the original Vita, I guess, was sold with the claim that you'd be able to pause your game on the handheld and pick it up on your console. And according to the class action suit, that never came to pass. So rather than take this suit to fruition, Sony agreed to settle. So Vita owners who bought before some point in 2012 have either a $25 PSN or check voucher that they can claim, or they can claim a packet of 4 Vita games, a value of $50 or greater. unfortunately, I either own pretty much all the games in the $50 or greater packs, or I just really don't care for them. I'd much rather have the $25 voucher in PSN, because that way I could get stuff for the PS4 as well, especially now that they've got cross-buy. A lot of the stuff they were offering in the $50 pack was like, you know, Little Big Planet Vita, the God of War collection, Unit 13. So it's really, you know, older stuff. Taking the $25 credit really will allow me to buy stuff for the PS4, stuff for the Vita, or, you know, any cross-buy stuff. So I don't know if I can, actually one of the things I could get is more songs for Rocksmith, because I got Rocksmith for the PS4 after I acquired a new bass guitar from a friend who had one that he wasn't using. I used to play bass in college, which was, you know, 20 some odd years ago, but since leaving college, I hadn't actually used it. In fact, I actually fucked up my bass. It was a cheap-ass Ibanez EX bass that I got from my brother. I think he bought it for like $100. I fucked around with the bridge and the truss rod and all kinds of other stuff, and I think I ended up bending the neck out of whack, and I couldn't get the proper action on the fretboard, so I just kind of stopped. Then eventually my nephew came around, who plays guitar, and he asked, you know, hey, can I borrow it? And I'm like, fuck it, man, you can have it. It's screwed up, but, you know, power to you. So there was a little while there where I was bassless. But my friend said, hey, I got one that I'm not using, you want it? I'm like, hell yeah. So I got a Mexican Fender precision bass now, and I've been using that a lot, both offline and through Rocksmith. Rocksmith is fantastic for anybody who is interested in music of any kind, and who really says, damn, I really wish I had learned to play guitar, and who thinks that Rock Band and Guitar Hero are, you know, the best they can do. That's not true. You can, for $199, you can get Rocksmith, the cable, and an actual guitar, a real live working guitar. And I've seen so many people, especially older people, who are saying, you know, Rocksmith is fantastic because even in old age, it's taught people how to learn to play guitar. You can play guitar and you can play bass. So actually today, maybe this week, which is March something or other, no, April, beginning of April, Amazon has Rocksmith along with the cable on sale for the PS4 and the Xbox. So for $39.99 you can get Rocksmith with cable for $79.99 normally, and $199 with guitar. So if you're interested in playing an instrument, look into Rocksmith. Believe me, it is well worth the price.